I am so glad to be back. I'd love to find out a little bit more about you, and then I'd love to share my story. Would you like to hear it?
Yes.
Okay. How many of you have been with us less than 3 months? Please stand up. We want to honor you. Less than 3 months. Less than 3 months. Okay. How about 3+ months to a year? Who's been with us 3+ months to a year? Beautiful, beautiful. Wow, okay. How about 1+ to 2? 1+ to 2. Please stand up. All right, 2 plus, no, was that out of 3, right? No, 2 plus to 3. Okay. How about 3 plus to 4? Yes. All right. 4 plus to 5. 4 plus to 5. All right, 5 plus. Yes. All right, anybody over 6? Anybody over 6?
I thought you said 5 plus.
7? 7? Anybody 8? I feel like I'm in an auction. Anybody 8? Okay, that makes me the oldest rapper. Yes. And you do not want to hear me sing. I'm talking about something else. This product came into my life at the perfect timing. Perfect timing. Anybody else feel that way? Yes. Anybody looking for something? Yeah, just was looking. Didn't know what else was out there. I started in this industry. It'll be 25 years in July since I've been in the industry of network marketing, multi-level marketing, now social selling, direct sales. I just love it. I love it for a couple of reasons. All of you that I get to meet, but how it changed our family. How it changed our family for now decades, if not generations. It will be generations. It's already changing my daughter's children's lives. And I never thought about it when I got started. Anybody else have kids? Anybody wish they didn't? They change your world, don't they? I mean, they show up and you think you're on this career path and you're just going to keep going, and they come in and totally knock you out. Well, I was on a great career path. I was selling IBM computers back in the 80s. Anybody remember those with the big 8-inch floppy drives? Yeah, size of your iPads today. Yeah, I was selling those. Man, it was a ride. I was out of college. I met my husband in high school, Big Daddy. Y'all know Big Daddy? Yeah. Great guy. We've been together since '74. Yeah. We'll have our 39th wedding anniversary. I know I was 2. 39th in August, so we're excited about that. We have a great life. We have 2 children. Adam is on a journey. He is on the Lewis and Clark expedition, going down the Missouri River from Montana in a canoe. He'll be gone for a year. He's going to end up back in Sarasota. I just don't know how he's going to smell after all that, but I'll tell you what. I'll get him a shower really quick. He just sent pictures. His beard's down to here. He looks like he's just having a ball. Isn't that great that your child can do something like that? Just be able to take off and do that. Our daughter, Kay, is an Ambassador Diamond with It Works. She just celebrated her 10th year anniversary. Yeah. She has our 2 grandsons, the best grandchildren in the whole world. As we all any other grandmas and granddads in the room, don't you know what I mean? Kennedy's 3.5, and Miles is a little over a year. So I, just love being a grandmother. Well, when our children came along, this was like Dave and I got married in '80. We had Adam. I'm going to stay at IBM. I'm going to keep working. We're just, just bought a house. Dave just changed jobs. Oh no. I cried every single morning taking him to daycare. Every single morning. Not just one. Not just the first day. The second day. And then it went on for months. And finally, I just came to the realization that, we need this income right now. We need this income. And so we talked about having another baby, and I said, honey, I can't have another baby and go back into daycare. So we just saved every penny that we could. And when Kay was born, we made that decision that I would become that stay-at-home mom. And I loved it. And for 7 years, I didn't think about work. I didn't think about a job. I thought about raising children. And then as Kay entered kindergarten and then going into first, Dave started saying the job word. As in, you need to get one. Yeah. See, he's the practical one. I'm the fun one. I'm the dreamer. The one that says, oh, it's going to be fine. We're going to just do fine. By the time that happens, we'll have the money. He's like, no, we won't. I can't work any harder. I can't do any more. We're going to have to do something different. So this was in the time of life before Google and Yahoo. Anybody remember that? You bought a newspaper. And I started looking at the wanted ads. I didn't want anything really. I thought, well, maybe somebody might want me. But I was hoping I didn't see anything. See, I thought, well, maybe I could do something part-time. And I started looking, and they were going to pay me about $6, $7 an hour. And I thought, gosh, we're still wearing pantyhose back then. That's not even going to afford the pantyhose or the gas or the new clothes. See, I hadn't worked in 7 years. I needed clothes. I had mama clothes. That's what I had, not work clothes. And I had a degree in business education, so I thought, well, maybe I'll substitute teach. So I called the school, and right away they called me. Like, wow, they really need these substitute teachers. And so I show up, and they put me in 8th grade music class.
Wow. Wonderful.
Oh, no. I'm not like Nina. I know nothing about music. And I had never experienced an 8th grader, much less 30 of them all at once in music. I marched right down to the principal's office after that day and said, take me off the list. This is not worth $50. I never went back. I feared for my life when my son went to 8th grade. How are we going to survive this? So, we entertained a lot. Dave was in construction, and so we took customers out. That's what we did. The products in his category were pretty similar to everybody else's, so it was about the personality. It's about customer service. And so when the kids would be asked at school, what do your parents do? They would say, well, my dad's an entertainer. And my mother, she doesn't do anything. Because he would always say, we're going to go entertain our customers. So we went to entertain a customer one night. We drove a couple hours, living in Roanoke, Virginia at the time, went to Abington. We were going to take his #1 client out to dinner and a show. We show up. They're just beautiful people, multimillionaires in the industry of construction. And we go out to dinner, and we start talking about me looking for a job. And I said, well, I did do something that I was taught at IBM is to vision. What do you want the end of your year to look like? What do you want your sales to be? What do you want your day to be like? And I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to design a day in the life of Pam and how she can work while raising her family. And so it went something like this. You get up in the morning leisurely and get the kids off to school. Not hectic. Not hectic. You know what it's like to get the kids off to school? Hectic. And then after they leave, you get a great cup of coffee and you read from an inspirational book. I love to do that in the morning. Get my mind right. And then go to the gym and work out. Maybe 2 hours. And then you come home, your house is a mess, isn't it? So you need to clean up your house, you need to clean yourself up. By then it's lunchtime, you need to go out to lunch. So you call up the girlfriends and you say, let's go to lunch. And then by the time that you do that, you might need a mani-pedi. Maybe a psychiatric visit, something to get you through until 3 o'clock when the bus comes. And then here comes the bus. Kids are starving, aren't they? And if you don't get the homework done, it doesn't happen. And then they want to go out and play, so you want to go out with them. And then it's dinner, then it's homework, and then it's bath time. Big Daddy needs at least 30 minutes at the end of the day, right? At least 30. Sometimes 15. Later on in life, 3 minutes is really all it is. So it does get better in life. Talk about keeping it simple. There is a blessing to age. I'll try to keep it clean from this point on. He's probably watching. Honey, I didn't mean it. So here we are, trying to figure it all out, and I'm telling him about my day, and I said, and at the end of that, in the nook and crannies of the day, I want to make a 6-figure income while doing all those wonderful things. And I was playing, but I was kind of serious. I'm like, there's got to be something that these moms are doing to be able to raise their babies and make some additional income. So my friend Marie said, well, come make lampshades with me. That lasted about 24 hours and I got fired. Then my sister-in-law said, let's do some earrings. That didn't last long either. I'm not very crafty. Then a couple weeks went by and that gentleman we took out to dinner called on a Monday morning and said, Pam, I want you to go to the local college about 20 minutes away from you. There's going to be an opportunity meeting. I said, what? He said, yeah, there's an opportunity meeting. There's a company coming through Virginia. What? Yeah, they're coming through Virginia, and you can hear about it. And you might like it like I did, because I joined. I said, you did what? He said, yeah, I joined. And I think you should go, and I think you should hear it. It might give you that day that you're looking at. And I'm like, this sounds kind of weird. What do you mean you joined? What is it? Tell me more. I have to know more. I just can't go show up. What are you talking about? He goes, just go. It's Tuesday, 7 o'clock. And I did what a lot of your guests did today. Anybody invite somebody that didn't come? Are they texting you saying they're on their way? They're not coming. I can guarantee it. They are not coming. Because what we do is we say we're coming just so that you won't ask again, or we don't want to hurt your feelings. And I didn't want to hurt his feelings, so I said, okay. I get off the phone and I said, that is the weirdest conversation I've ever had. What does he mean join? What does he mean opportunity? I've never heard of anything like that before. You go to an interview, right? There's a job opportunity. You go to an interview. That's the way I was raised. That's what I was used to. Not an opportunity. I was an entrepreneur. My husband wasn't either. Nobody in my entire family were entrepreneurs. No one in my family had ever been involved in a network marketing company. I didn't even know they existed. I knew there was Mary Kay and Avon. I'd been to Tupperware parties with my mom, but I didn't know they were real people selling stuff. I just thought they were friends that had like lids and Tupperware and stuff. It didn't click with me. So Wednesday morning, the phone rings, first thing, and it's him. And he said, what'd you think? And I said, about what? I'd already forgotten. He said, about the meeting. I said, oh my gosh. I didn't go, something came up. And he goes, you know what? That's okay. Because they're going to be there next Tuesday and Tuesday after that. And I'm going to call you every Monday to remind you, then I'll call you Wednesday to see what you thought. And I thought, oh my gosh, I thought it was like a circus. They came in and out. I'm going to have to go to this thing. So I told Dave, I said, honey, you got to go with me. He's your customer. You know what? It's near a restaurant we like to go to. We haven't been in a while, so we'll make it date night on a Tuesday. You know, it's summertime. Why not get a sitter? So we go to this opportunity meeting. We pull up. We got to walk up this big flight of stairs at this college. We look up at the top. There is my next door neighbor, Larry. Can you imagine the shock on his face? As Larry looks down and we look up. Hey, Larry, what are you doing? What are y'all doing? I said, we're coming to an opportunity meeting, Larry. Oh. Who invited you? Well, not you. You didn't invite us? Is it like a party? Why didn't you invite us? He looked like he was sick all of a sudden. And I didn't understand that. Why are you looking like that, Larry? See, I didn't know what was going on. So I walk in the room and it's all men. I was the only woman. I'm like, wow, this will be fun. Opportunity meeting. So I wiggle in one of those little classroom seats, and there's a guy up front. Now he's like Nina, on fire. Nina, the only thing he needs is a $100 bill because he kept slapping one on his head. You're going to make 100 and 100 and 100, and it kept falling off, and I was like, should I help him? It's just wigging me out. It's just, no. Yeah, I've been to meetings. They're boring. Meetings are boring. IBM meetings were boring. We wore blue suits and little kerchiefs. White shirts. It was boring. This was not. I couldn't keep up with it. And I'm still thinking about everything but what he's saying. He's like, he's way too excited for me. I'm wondering what I'm going to have for dinner. Hoping the sitter's doing okay. And the kids will be in bed by the time I get home.
3 minutes.
But he gets to a page about residual income. If you get a few who get a few and everybody's buying a little bit, that starts to add up and you can make some money. And I thought about those service contracts that IBM would never pay me on. And they were renewed annual, and I used to beg to get paid on those service contracts. Let us sell those and get paid on them. No, we don't do that. Darn. Wouldn't it have been great if every time that floppy disk went into that drive, I got a few pennies? They didn't do that either. That's called residual income. So I went from not paying a bit of attention, arms crossed, to sitting bolt upright in my chair. He got my attention, and then he nailed my attention when he said, "And we will help you." And that's when I went crazy. My hand shot up. I'm like, I'm in a classroom, I should be able to ask a question. And I said, "Now I am confused. Why would you help me?" See, I was in sales before. You barely got training. And then if you did well, even management tried to cut that off by changing your territory, taking things away instead of benefiting. I knew that world and I didn't want to get back in it. So when he said, "We will help you," I didn't understand it. I couldn't comprehend it. I couldn't wrap my brain around it. He explained it that as you come on board and others within your team come on board, it is to your benefit to help each other. The more the team makes, the more everyone makes. And I still, for the longest time, it took me months to understand that because of my programming. From the time I'm very young, think about it. Did we get that much help? No, you just got thrown into a job. Even the person that was leaving the job that was training you tried to sabotage you. It's so true. Why is that? So Dave and I went out to dinner. I'm telling you, I couldn't think about anything but that. I went to bed that night and barely slept. Something woke up in me. Something woke up in me. Something spoke to me. My heart woke up. It started fluttering. It started dreaming. It started thinking, maybe this is it. See, from the time that I was a small child, I felt that there was something big for me. I felt that there was something that could speak to me, that I would be passionate about, fall in love with, and could get wealthy with. You've all felt that. Every single one of you. But you squelch it. You squelch it because you start going to school. No, the rich get richer. That won't happen for you. You're not smart enough. You're not pretty enough. You're a girl. You're a guy. Whatever you heard all along, even your own parents. No, don't dream that big. That won't happen for you. So I was feeling that flutter. I was feeling that thought of maybe this is it. And it took me a couple months to decide. Even the next day I woke up early and I went to the library. Because you didn't have Google, Yahoo. I checked out books on network marketing and people had written them. I called that company and they picked up and said, hello. And I hung up. I said, all right, they answered. They're real. I started asking questions. Do people really make money? Have you actually seen it? Have you seen the checks? Yes, I've seen the checks. Okay. It took me a couple months. The kids started school, and in September of 94, I joined. I paid $590. We didn't have it. I took the money out of our savings, and I paid. And then something happened. An overwhelming fear set in. Paralyzing of, oh my gosh, what have I just done? What have I just done? See, the meeting had worn off. The meeting had worn off. It's like a warm bath. I'd forgotten that butterfly feeling. Now reality set in. Now you gotta work. Now you got to tell people. Well, my next door neighbor Larry was already in. I didn't want to tell my dad because he paid for my college. What would he think? My mom would say, oh, honey, you can do anything. And that's what I love about my mom. But this was long distance service, and she had been with AT&T since the day she could get a phone. And I knew that she wasn't going to switch her service. Most people were like that. I didn't want to tell my girlfriends because, wow, they were still in their careers. So I didn't say anything to anybody for 6 solid months. I sat in fear, paralyzing fear. The longer I sat, the more the fear built up. The longer I sat, the more I complained. The longer I sat, the bigger a victim I became. Oh, they took my money. Who has said that? They didn't take my money. Gave it to them. Oh, it's not working. Well, you haven't asked anybody. Oh, I took 2 of those.
Did not work.
How's that working for you? My sponsor kept calling, Pam, you know everybody. Y'all, you know, we lived in a 10-mile radius of thousands of people that we knew from grade school. Everybody loved us. We loved them. I did something for you. You did something for me. That's the way we were raised in the South. What was I afraid of? I was afraid of what people would think. Period. End of story. Woo. That was it.
You preaching.
That was it. That was it. Nothing more. I couldn't add on to that. My sponsor called and said, look, top money earner. It's going to be near you, 2 hours away. You got to go. Pam, he's a former teacher like you. He's your age. He's got 2 kids. He's making a double-digit 6-figure monthly income. There is a difference. You aren't and he is. So I got in my car that day and I drove those 2 hours by myself because I hadn't told anybody. So there wasn't anybody to go with me. Dave said, yes, go. I want to get that money back. That's what he was thinking. You took $590 out of the account. Let's make it back. I sat in the back of that room. It was just like this, no different. He stood up front. He told his story about how he took the deck money off the back of their house and invested in this company. And if you opened up their back door, you just fall out. Well, his wife wasn't too happy about that. So she was mad at him for about 2 years. He would sleep in his car when he drove to another city because he didn't have the money to get a hotel room. And he would go anywhere and everywhere just to talk to people. He asked over 100 people in the school system, from the janitor to the superintendent of schools, will you be my customer? Will you look at my opportunity? Every single one said no. I will not. He kept going. When I met him, he'd have been in 3.5 years. When it ended for him, he was making $1.5 million a month.
A month.
A month.
Wow.
Yeah.
I heard that. Yeah. A month.
You heard that.
A month.
We pay 8.5 times more and it works.
Woo!
And you heard that. We can talk about that later. So at the end of that meeting, you could go up in meeting. You know, we didn't have cell phones with pictures back then, with cameras. So I stood in line. I couldn't wait to meet him. I thought maybe he's got pixie dust or something. It'll fall off on me. You know, some of y'all do that. You come up and smell me and rub me. I'm like, I don't that, I promise. I'm just setting it up so I don't have any, but if you want some, I'll give you a little bit. So I went up and I said, hey, man, I've loved your story. I'm so relatable. He said, really? How's your business going? And I went, oh, you know, I got 2 kids. He said, so do I. Well, my husband's not really, neither was my wife. Well, you know, so do I. Finally, he stood back and he put his hand on his hip and he said, you know what? He said, you're just too prissy for this. Well, in the South, that means you think you're too good. You think you're better than everybody else. You're worried about what people will think. Oh my gosh, you know that butterfly, it exploded. He nailed it. I ran out of that room. Tears were popping out of my eyes. I cried for 2 hours all the way home. The next morning, I got up early. See, that's what you do. You get up early. You have to do something different. Am I out? Better? Yeah. So you have to do something different if you want something different to happen. So I knew, all right, I got to get up early. And then I did something else, and I tell you, I did it. And I don't know why, but I put on the thickest, whitest, most badass panties you've ever seen in your life. The self-absorbent kind, now they're called Depends. Back then they were just whitey panties or whatever, I don't know what they were. You know, the kind you get at Walmart. And that was like my Under Armour. And I started calling my friends at 6:30 in the morning. You gotta come and listen to this. You know what? You owe me. We're gonna go have coffee. And for those that like wine, yeah, I'll buy you a glass of wine. You're gonna listen to this. I told my husband, we're having a party at our house on Tuesday. He says, thank God. He started calling people. He wasn't afraid. He said, yeah, call him. You better get over here. My wife's making cookies and tea. And she wants you here, and do not be late. So that Tuesday showed up, and I'm nervous, and I got one of those big old flip charts that I saw at that meeting. And my sponsor called 30 minutes before everybody was to get there, and he said, I can't make it. Oh, yeah. I said, well, I am turning off the lights and locking the door. I am not doing this on my own. Forget it. He said, you're just going to be just fine. Just fine. So I stood in that room, my own room, with my guests there, 12 people, and I did the flip chart, and I was shaking, and I just looked at it and read, you can try it too. I want to try it. Retail price, $99. I read it just like that. He said, just point and read, so I did that. At the end said, join me. Join me. Dave's aunt stood up and said, I'm in. I went, oh my God, I got one. She said she felt so sorry for me. So she joined. She didn't do anything, but she gave me confidence. You know, she joined. Whether they do anything or not, they joined. They give you confidence. That's how I looked at it. So every day I got up early. Every day I asked. And every day I got better. And when a question came up I couldn't answer, guess what? They helped me. They helped me. Like they said they would. So I went from making nothing to a 5-figure income by the end of that year. That changed my life forever. Do you know that my next door friend, Larry, and neighbor, because he didn't ask, because see, on the outside, we looked fine. On the outside of our house, nice family, 2 kids, members of the club, nice cars. On the inside, we needed income. And on the inside, we were suffering. On the outside, it looked beautiful. See, now, because that was so monumental for me. I've never prejudged because of that. See, Larry missed out. My sponsor said, because of you, I earn an extra $10,000 a month. Larry didn't. He eventually moved. Packed up and left. Disheartening. I don't care who you are, what you do, where you work, whether you wait tables or you are an electrical engineer, you are going to get an ask. Yes. A doctor, you're going to get a big ask, because you know what? You are in debt. You're paying a lot of insurance today. And you shouldn't have to do that, but that's the way of the world today. I've got a way out. Ask. And that's all I do. You either say yes or no. And when you can get that behind you and you understand that it's a yes is great, a no is great. You know why a no is great? Because a no means not now. When you start making triple diamond money, they're coming. They can't get there fast enough. Because when that gentleman that was in the front of that room, when he quit his job and walked out that day from teaching, the superintendent of schools called and said, I'm ready. And that's what happens. They'll be ready when you're consistent. They'll be ready when you stay the course. They'll be ready when you get a comma in your check. Even that spouse of yours is just mocking you. He starts talking French when you get that comma. When are we going to get our check? Yes, when are we? Well, when did it become a we? Thank goodness it was in my name. Then they want to change it. Can we put our names on there together? No, get your own account. Let's see how fast you can go diamond. You know, I was with that company 6.5 awesome years. Loved it. Loved it. Management changed, the heart left, it was time to go. So glad. So glad. So thrilled. Gosh, God shows up. Big. He's trying to boot me out of there anyway. Gosh, we just think it's awful. What? All right, something big is coming every time something like that happens. Yes. 6.5 years, learned everything I needed to learn, and it just as a start, as a good start. I told Dave, you know what? It's almost the holidays. I'm just going to hang out. I'll figure it out in January, what we're going to do. I know I'll do something. I'm just not sure what. You know, you leave a company, the phone starts ringing. Hey, join mine. Hey, join mine. Hey, join mine. Hey, take a look at mine. And, you know, I would be so nice. Okay, I'm not going to do anything till the end of the year. And I kind of peek around at their company and go, I can't get behind that. That's not what I want. It's okay for you, but that's not for me. I was thankful they asked because it could have been. 2 days after I tell Dave that, the phone rings. On the other end of the phone is a gentleman that was a sideline team member in that company that had left prior to me. He was working with a really huge ministry in Virginia, getting ready to go on a project to Israel. They were going to build this big wall, and he was going to be lead project manager on that. He was in their warehouse-sized building, looks like a huge warehouse from Walmart, getting materials ready, and he overheard through the Hispanic ministry about a team of doctors and scientists in the heart of Mexico that had a product that they had had for 12 years, that they would deep tissue massage into the skin at upwards of $300 a treatment, and that they made it available on a cloth that could be delivered by yourself. Hand spatula on a cloth, and they wanted to bring it into the United States because we love instant gratification without changing lifestyle. Guess what? So do the Japanese. So does the Philippines. Everywhere we go, we want products that work.
Yes.
And I barely listened. I listened because he was a good friend, but I didn't believe that anything could tone, tighten, and firm in 45 minutes. See, I was a mom of 2. I had some problem areas. This was before they even had Botox. Liposuction was for the stars. And that sounded so scary and way too expensive. Way too expensive. That wasn't for regular folk. There was nothing out there like it. I couldn't even wrap my brain around it. I didn't have a brain cell for the thought of it. There was nothing that I could pull up and look at. This is December 2000. He said, Pam, I'm telling you, they're serious. Just listen. I started asking questions. He said, I don't know the answer to those. Let me see if I can get them on the phone. 2 hours later, the phone rings. I'm on a cord phone, dating back to 2000. On the other end of the line is Luis Maharis.
Wow.
Y'all know Luis.
Yes.
One of the lead doctors, only spoke Spanish, and I spoke Southern English. Luis is better today. That's why we have such a kindred spirit together. That first conversation, he had to keep repeating. I had to keep repeating, but this is what we got. He believed in what he had. He was passionate. He was passionate about what he had. Within weeks, we're down. We said, all right, we'll go down to Texas. They came over. I walked away with a box of product that had 3 of those cloth things in it after listening to them for 3 days. See, they had tried to take it somewhere else, and the people tried to take it. So they didn't have a lot of comfort talking about it. They were worried if they could trust. So it took 3 days to get that trust. So I come back. He said, I want you to try it. I want you to pick a problem area and I want you to try it. I want you to use one cloth. I want you to wear it 45 minutes. Wait 72 hours, do it again. Wait 72 hours, do it again. And then let's talk results. Not 1, 2, but 3. There were 3 cloths in that box at that time, not 4. So I came home and Dave was there and he's all skeptical. He said, Pam, Louise said, I want you to be positive. Being positive helps at work. And I thought, that's too woo-woo for me. Must have something to do with those herbs. So I invited my positive friend Patty over and she's like, oh my gosh. She had just had her 4th baby. She said, look, I need that. I've had 4. You've only had 2. I said, no, he told me I needed to use all 3. So I put that cloth on my stomach and I stood in the kitchen and did not move for 45 minutes. Because I forgot to ask if I could. I drank my water. We talked about it. I took the cloth off. Dave kind of cocked his head to the side, got up and just walked out of the room. And I know he was thinking, we just blew all that money sending her down there. My stomach looked pretty much the same. First wrap, 45 minutes. But see, I had 2 more. He set me upright. Waited 72 hours, put it on again. Now see, I did make a fatal mistake. I told my mother-in-law about it. So she's calling, how you doing? How's that thing doing? And see, I told all my girlfriends I was going to be a size 2 by the end of that box. I mean, I saw pictures. It was crazy what I saw. And my belief level was so high. I talked to Louise for 3 days, and your belief level will be so far. It'll be to the moon. Because that's how passionate he is. Put that second wrap on. Didn't notice a real difference that day, but went to bed that night, woke up the next morning. I felt like my clothes were falling off. I ran in the bathroom. I put on the pants that I bought to go down to Texas, and they were too big, a size too big. It worked. I started calling my girlfriends again, 6:30 in the morning. Guess what? They go, we want it. It is the first time they ever wanted anything besides my husband, Dave. They wanted it. They didn't care what it cost. I was ready to take a tractor trailer down there and say, fill me up. They sent 500 boxes. I started putting that wrap on chins, on butts, on ankles, on thighs, on arms, on back. I mean, we were laying people out. It was working. I noticed 9 out of 10 had results first time. See, mine wasn't normal. I needed 2. Then we noticed some needed 3, and then we figured out some needed 4. That's why we now have 4.
Yes.
You aren't wrapping enough people. You want to change your life? Start wrapping.
There you go.
Go live. Wow, go viral.
Yeah.
This product is not talked about enough. That was December 2000. Mark and Cindy came to Virginia and tried the product. Still, to this day, I'm like, that was just a God thing. For them to believe that it would work and that they were looking. See, Mark was a top 10 income earner in that company that I had just left. And he had left prior. His name was renowned. Because when they were going down, they asked top leadership if they would go around and say everything was okay, and they were the only couple that said, no, we can't do that. See, that's integrity. But yes, give it up for Mark and Cindy. See, that one decision to stay in integrity comes from the phone call. Isn't that who you want to partner with?
Yes.
Isn't that who you want to run your company?
Absolutely.
So here it was, January 2001. March 2001, it works. I was telling Paul earlier, our name used to be lowercase. And then we hit 1 million, we said, we need to go upper.
Yeah.
We're bigger now. See, we need a visionary like that. Mark built the infrastructure, continues to build the infrastructure. See, a lot of people don't realize behind every distributor is a company, just like IBM. There is a CEO, vice presidents, management team, customer service, shipping and handling. All of it's normal. And we just think it's just us. And see, I wanted to be us. I wanted to go out and be that first rap girl. I wanted to build the field. I wanted to be that person that led in the field. And I'm so thankful that I'm still that girl. And now we've got a team of people that are out there every day. Cammie, Mike, out there every day. Mary Beth, Margarita,
Yes.
Amber and Josh out there every day working for you. Working for you. Helping you. So let's get to the next slide, please. Because what's important is not only that you try it, but that you get paid. You get paid because, let's face it, I was that mom needing extra money. I get that. We need, every single person that I ever talk to needs something more. We're not making ends meet. We can't keep lying to ourselves. We can't keep thinking it's just going to show up. That's living in la la land. You've got to go to work. You've got to do something different in order to change your life. So we can work from our phone. You all are already doing it. You're just not getting paid if you're not a part of It Works. You can earn money daily, weekly, yearly. You make new friends. This is the best bullet. Who's made their best friends for life in this business? I know I have. Do you know, I told my son, I said, Adam, I don't care what state you're in, if you need someone, there is somebody within my team that will come to your rescue.
That's right.
It doesn't matter if it's Arizona, Nevada, Montana, St. Louis, wherever you're at, somebody will be at your doorstep or your canoe. Wherever you're at, they will come. They will feed you. Do you know how good that feels? Choose a product pack, each valued at $99 to start your business. You can't turn the light switch on in a traditional business for $99. $99 to start your business. Think about this. That is an investment. And then you can run it every month for as little as $80. And these are products that you consume and or resell. Try to run a business off of $80. People will laugh at you. If you go sit down and talk to traditional entrepreneurs, they'll go, what the heck are you talking about? My overhead alone is in the tens of thousands and I haven't even paid me yet. And I've been in business 5 years. That's traditional business. Where we're saying you can get paid daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. Let's go to the next slide, please. So pick your number. Look at this. I want to get real serious right now. Because these numbers are real. These are not imaginary. We cannot legally post numbers unless we can prove that they are real. So what we did a sweep. This is 2016. We took earnings on average of every person in the team from distributor to ambassador. And this is what it came out to be on average. So all of you who are our distributor who have not yet promoted, please stand up. We want to honor you. Who have not, you were just like me back, remember? Yes. Congratulations. On average, you probably got a customer or two. My first check in the industry was $15.78. Big Daddy said, hey, y'all know what's coming. Why don't I quit my job too? We just go full time. I'm like, He is not saying that today. The day he left his job, I did not know that man could smile that big. I did not know that he really, truly, he held it together because he needed to for the family. He worked a job to where he didn't want to work anymore, but he held it together because he knew he needed to for his family. Do you think I always want to go around and wrap somebody's behind? Do you think that? I'm not crazy. But it's a part of it. It's a part of it. But I'll tell you what will happen. They will come in shy, not really truly loving themselves, and 45 minutes later, I got somebody singing and dancing. And it is worth it for me for that. Do we have any executives from Philadelphia in the house? Please stand up. Any of you? Wow, let's be proud of that. Yes. Let's be proud of that. You're on your way. Yes. So, you know what? Almost every single ambassador says they joined to make $200 a month. Look where you're at. They joined to make $200 a month, and they made that because they each promoted as well. Everybody that's at the top started out just like you. Any rubies in the house? Let's give it up. Come on, rubies. Congratulations, rubies. Right at $500 a month. They're taking us out to dinner. That's big. That is big. Do you know most people never make that in the industry? All right, rubies, I want you to raise your hand and pat yourselves on the back. Come on, let's do it. This is good. Yes, because now you have mastered the comp plan. You have mastered it. You have unlocked all the money all the way to the top, because now you build rubies. See, you've done it, now you build them. And when you do that, you're going to go emerald. All of our emeralds, please stand up. Come on, emeralds, you're going to rank up this month. Emeralds, you're going to rank up this month? Yes, because you've got a bonus there waiting for you. You have a bonus waiting, and guess what? When you do it, you don't have to call and ask for it. Yes, thank you. Yes, go into your boss tomorrow and say, okay, because this is what happens when you promote to diamond. You get 2 raises. You get 2 raises. You get an extra 2% on all your volume. That's big. My sister called one day and she said they were going to give her $1 raise. And she had been with this company over 30 years. She told them to keep it and some other things as well. The other thing, when you go diamond, every person that comes into your diamond organization, whether you sponsor them or not, you're going to earn an extra $80 per person through unlimited levels. All of our diamonds who are doing that, please stand up. All of our diamonds.
Look, there's spring back there.
On average, we talk about rank up bonuses, but let me tell you, $2,000 a month, that alone is huge. That is huge. $2,000 coming in every single month. And what's the reason for the jump? It's that $80. See, everyone that you sponsor and they sponsor and they sponsor that unlock the compensation plan, which means what? They joined. They're purchasing product each month. They're gathering customers. At least 2. How many of you have gathered 2 customers? Raise your hand. So it's doable, right? Yes. That unlocks that $80 leadership bonus. And here's the reason there's a double increase at Double Diamond. Because that 80 goes to 120, 120, 120, 120, 120. You're still making 80, 80, 80, 80. Now you're going to earn another raise. All of our Double Diamonds, please stand up. Come on, Double Diamonds. Let's hear it from you. Love it. They're buying dinner. Wait till you see what Triple's going to do for us. All right, now here's where it gets to where Mama calls sister, best friend, says, you know that little thing you asked me to do? I think I want to do that now. You're one of those whatever triple diamond thing means, but I saw that average income chart and I want to make $8,000 a month. That's what happens at Double and Triple. I don't know why Triple is the magic, because we've always wanted to earn around 10 grand a month, haven't we? Now, who wants to be a 6-figure annual earner?
Yeah.
Yeah, a month. An hour. Yeah. I would love our triples to come up here with me. Yes, come on up here, triples. This is a dynamic group. You know what? It takes confidence. Do you know that in the beginning, like me, let's put a notebook or something right here. Can I show this? Yeah. Here's the difference between what a distributor does and a triple. Y'all want to know the difference? Yes. Nothing. They don't do anything different. But one thing, confidence. So how do you gain confidence in anything that you've ever done in your life? I watched my grandson Miles walk. How does he gain confidence? By walking. By walking over and over. He falls, face plants, hurts himself, cries, gets up, and keeps going. Nobody's saying, don't walk, Miles. You might get hurt. Gets up and gets going. And arms are up first. Remember that? Looks like Frankenstein. Then they start to come down. Now this is how Miles walks. I'm telling you, he does. Puts his little hands behind his back now and says, I am a good walker. That's because he gained confidence. That's the difference between distributor and here, is doing the thing. All right, please tell us who you are, where you're from.
Rashid Coleman.
Rashid, I have one rule. I hold the microphone until you promote the ambassador. And I'm glad you tried to grab it so I could tell the rule. Okay. And Rashid, the reason for that is y'all just don't know when to give it back. And we've got some training to do. Okay. So, Rashid, where are you from?
Philadelphia.
So, because of it works.
Life is different. We've been able to help a lot of people change their lives.
What about yours?
It's changed dramatically.
In what way?
Financially.
How?
Where our extra income is substantial.
He's not giving it up for me.
Hi, I'm Sheila. I'm from Philly. This is my husband, Roger.
Well, can you give us a little idea, Sheila? Like how? Are you sleeping better?
We always sleep good, but we're paying more our bills on time. We're getting ahead with our bills. I mean, that's exciting. And being able to invest money where you couldn't before.
Beautiful. Hang out with us. Go ahead and get a picture. Courtney Van Auken from. Oh, sorry.
Alright, so how's it work?
I paid off $30,000 in credit card debt in the last 4 months. And I bought my first home, and my mortgage is completely covered by the business.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Carissa from Newark, New Jersey, and because of It Works, I've been able to do this business on a full-time basis for the last 5.5 years, being retired at 30 from being a medical assistant, and just living life to the fullest with no stress, no regrets, and no filter.
And this girl, she knows how to have fun. She is a glue on steroids. Yes.
Hi y'all, I'm Candace Thomas from Baltimore, Maryland. Because of It Works, the short story, I went from unemployed with 1 baby to quadrupled income with 2 babies.
I love it. How you sleeping?
Good. Okay. My name is Tracy Madrie. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I have a little different of a story. I was a 20-year entrepreneur that worked 80 to 90 hours a week.
Come on, girl. I know that
And
thing.
I have an 18, 15, and 13-year-old that I wasn't home with. And so I walked away. I've been in business now for a year, and I came in with, I want to be home. And every day I told everybody about it, and that's how I got to this point. And I walked away. I became diamond in 3 months, walked away, and kept going from that point.
She has a why. Who has a why? Who has a why that's strong? Congratulations.
Hi, my name is Amy Tran. I'm from outside of Philadelphia. I've been in the business since I was 19 years old. Because of It Works, my fiance and I are paying for our wedding in cash. We're building our first home together at 25 years old. Amazing. And credit card debt free.
Beautiful.
Hi everyone, my name is Amanda Tritt, and I'm also from outside of Philly. That's my sister. Because of It Works, I'm able to work because I want to, not because I have to. And I have the freedom to basically do whatever I want. I can travel. I literally have traveled so much this year. I am 28 years old, so I love having the freedom.
Beautiful. All right, let's take a good shot. We're going to be crazy too. Come on in, triples. Come on. All right, ready? Crazy. All right, so this next position, wow, you know what this position takes?
You ready?
Guts. Dave was making less than this a year when we got married. I was making triple diamond income annually when we got married. Think about that. Seriously, I'm serious. Yeah, and it was big time. We were both college graduates, 5 years.
145, right?
We had full-time jobs,
45 cap.
and this was our first jobs, and this was our first pay. So for most of us, when we hear that you can do this monthly, can't fathom it. Just impossible. That happens to everybody else, but not me. Well, I can tell you, we've got presidential diamonds in the house that decided that they were worthy. They decided that they could do it. And they showed up every day, and they built through our system, which you'll hear about later. They built through our system. They built rubies. See, they took people with them. See, they have rubies and emeralds and diamonds. Oh my. Yeah, all throughout their team. See, it's fun getting there, but it is such a blessing when everybody's there with you. Let's give it up for on our feet for our presidential diamonds that are in the house with us. Come on, let's give it up.
going today. All right, so tell us who you are, where you're from.
Hi everyone, my name is Leah. I am from New Jersey.
Okay, so Leah, what was life like before It Works?
Oh boy. Before It Works, well, I am still a college dropout, so I'm a college dropout before it works. So that's not changed. I was making $10 an hour as my now ex-husband's receptionist, and I was $10,000 in credit card debt, living below paycheck to paycheck, not even making like $700 a month. And that was life before it works.
And so now, I mean, you're a single mom, and there's a little bit of a story there. How does it feel to have had this that you could rely on?
This business is the biggest blessing that has ever come into my life. And I say that because when I found It Works in 2014, I never knew what would happen in my life in 2018, but God brought this business at the perfect timing. And I was blindsided by a divorce this past October, and I did not have to fight my ex-husband for anything. I had this income as a top 100 earner, and it has blessed me and my daughter enough that we were able to buy our own house with income from this business alone.
We think we're just going to clip along in life, but life always brings us something. And when you think of all the people that you know on your team, some are doing just great, but then life happens. So what could you say to everybody here that's just kind of sitting there stewing, wonder if this could really work for them?
Run as fast as you can towards those promotions, because I never knew something like this would happen in my life, but I am so thankful that I decided to run for it when I did, and I never looked back, because when that moment hit, I was okay, and now my daughter is okay, and we're going to be okay, so just go.
Beautiful, thank you. All right, oh no, stay up here, we're gonna get a group shot. All right, so tell everybody who you are and where you're from.
I'm Jess Paluzak, and I'm from Easton, Pennsylvania, so about like an hour and a half from here.
Jess, one thing that I noticed about all of you is y'all show up on social. I mean, you're always... I mean, you and Nina both. It's like a competition here. All right, so Jess, what were you doing before?
So before It Works, we were living paycheck to paycheck, barely getting by, deferring my husband's school loans, and we were just in debt.
How did that feel to be in that much debt?
It was awful. It was awful, never knowing when, the next paycheck was going to come, when we were going to be able to pay our bills, and we were living on government assistance, so it was pretty bad.
So, a lot of people in that situation, they stay there because they can't lift themselves up. How did you lift yourself up to be that energetic Jess that could, say, all right, this is going to be for me, but you're not making the money yet. You're not making the money yet with It Works, but you have to show up knowing that it'll happen. How did you have the courage to do that?
I just decided. We have 2 little boys, and we were just made for more, and we knew it. We just knew it, so we just had to put our head to it and just make it happen.
What's the number one thing you could tell everybody to go do, like right now?
Right now, oh man, I would just say get to work, make no excuses, because last time this year, at the beginning of the year, we were making about $633 with It Works. And Mark told his dark horse story at conference. And we decided in that moment that enough was enough. So we literally got home, got to work, round the troops up, got everybody together, and within 7 months, we went from earning $633 to a $30,000 paycheck in 1 month. Yep. And last year alone, and it's crazy to think what a year can do, but we were able to pay off $100,000 in debt, and we were able to get our dream house, farmhouse that we've been renovating, and it's just been amazing. And I would just say get to work and just make no excuses.
Did you notice how long it takes me to pull this stuff out of everybody? And because everyone's so humble. You're so humble, so gracious. Congratulations. Thank you for sharing that. All right, so you heard from Nina. earlier, and we're going to hear more from Nina. But Nina, introduce yourself and Paul.
All right, we are calling.
I got to hold it. Just hold it.
I did get it earlier, y'all saw it.
It's so hard for her, but I'm enjoying every minute of it.
We are calling Nina Moore. You guys, we've been with It Works now for 9 months, right? Going on 10 months, 9 months. And we didn't join It Works really for us. I was the number one earner of my former company, and the day that I was announced as the number one earner of that company, I quit. The day. I was making a lot of money. So when we chose It Works, it was because we went and we met with Mark Pentecost and Mike Patillo, and we saw the vision. We heard where the company was going. We could hear that there was leadership. We were looking for leadership, and we were looking for a culture, because a lot of people don't understand that not everyone comes for money. So we were looking for culture. We were looking for someone who was going to live what they were speaking, and we sensed that in the office with Mark Pentecost. And then he said to me, "Well, Nina, 95% of our top earners, they've never been a network marketer before." And I said, "What?" Just like that. And I said, "Oh." So then we realized that we could help a lot of people. And when we had our first meeting, a very private in-home meeting with 70 people there, a very private, almost 70 people showed up. They heard our heart. We said, this go around is not about us. If we can't help other people make money, because I was making a lot of money, my team wasn't making a lot of money in the last deal. And so we see the potential here, and we see the growth. And then when we hear stories, the story at conference that we heard from Courtney, when she said I was a heroin addict and now I'm a millionaire, it changed my life. And then this week again, we were in Connecticut, and another young lady that I met there said, she ran up to me and she said, "You're a bad A." And I was like, "You're a bad A too." And she said, "Yeah, well, I want you to know, I was on heroin, and now I'm working my way to millions." And it was another, so, when you hear these stories of regular, everyday, average, ordinary people who made a decision that no longer do I want my life to be this way. And so we're advocates of change. We believe that we serve with the sole purpose of making sure that other people can live the life that they've dreamed of now.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, she means that. A lot of people speak, but this is her heart. All right, so Paul, yeah, honey, you're going to get a few minutes, but I know it's hard. You never get time, but here's your time. What would you like to say about your wife and about your business and life now?
Well, one, it's like Jay-Z following Beyonce. You can't follow that. But I just want to say this business and my wife. First of all, I believe in my wife, like I told you, more than I believe in anything else. So whatever she believes in and whatever that she puts her mind to, I got her back, regardless. Go, Paul! And just this business, even just for me, it has showed me how to be more consistent. That's why I'm like so gun-ho on the gym and everything, because I just know that I can help people and inspire people just like my wife, but just in a different way.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. You own it. Yes. And I love that. All right, let's get a picture. Come on over on the side. We'll bank each other. Yes.
Oh, yeah? You had to do it, Paul? All right,
let's give it up for our presidential diamond. And we are blessed. We have an Ambassador Diamond in the house. So, I wonder where she's at. When you think about going Ambassador Diamond, there's less than 200 in the world. We're getting ready to open up our 26th country. Do you know what it's like for them? We had someone in the Philippines get their first check. It was $900.
The average income in the Philippines per month is $300. We're going to change lives in the Philippines. You know, when I think of Emily, I see somebody that will say she's shy, that she's this or she's that, but I see strength and a lot of wisdom for somebody that's so young. So I would love for you to get on your feet and to welcome Ambassador Diamond Emily to the stage.
So Emily, I have the honor of handing you the microphone. Would you please take a few minutes and share your story with us?
Well, I'm official now.
So I'm Emily Worsay, I'm 24. I'm from Connecticut. Wow. So I'm visiting some friends for the weekend here in Philly. It's been a lot of fun. I've been in business for a little over 3.5 years, and it's been really cool. It's been pretty awesome. I still have no idea what I'm doing though, and I'll be completely honest with all of you. I joined 21. I was a broke college student in a lot of debt, and honestly, I had no other option because my parents couldn't help me out, and that's it. That's it. Like, that's why I keep telling people, like, I literally just did not have another option, and I was really scared. And I just still have that drive and that passion to this day. I just work hard, and I paid off lots of debt, my school debt. I paid off credit card debt. I mean, I do this for my parents mainly because I don't have children yet. But yeah, I mean, I was able to buy my dad a car. I'm retiring my mom. But honestly, it's just really cool being really young and inspiring other people. Like, that's honestly the best part of it. Money is money, and it's great, but the best feeling is being able to help others and really seeing them flourish. Yeah. Oops. And I fall.
But you get back up.
Yes. Always.
Good?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was perfect, wasn't it? Gosh, I love that. You need to get your children in this, just like I did mine, so they take care of us, right? You know, we're getting ready to try it. We're getting ready to try our products. If you haven't had the opportunity to try our products, this is the time that you're going to take it as soon as I finish here. And, you know, I just feel so blessed to be able to go on the road and hear these stories. You know, people ask me all the time, Pam, why are you still working? I said, because of the stories, the people that I meet, the lives that we're changing. It's just amazing to get up in the morning and not be self-consumed. You know, because in the beginning, I had to be self-consumed. And it's okay in the beginning because you've got to build your business first. See, that's not being selfish. You've got to show your team, yourself, your spouse, your children that you can do this. Or how are you able to lead anyone else? So in the beginning, yes, it's about your chart. Yes, it's about your position. It's not about just throwing a bunch of people in and hoping they stay. It's about learning how to coach and lead along the way. And you don't have to change your personality. You don't have to become someone else. You don't need a guru. Not everybody can be Nina. No, not everyone needs to be.
That's right.
We all just need to own who we are. That's how people relate to you.
It doesn't matter if you build this offline or online, because when it becomes within you, no matter where you go, people are going to respond. Have you ever been around somebody that is so passionate that you just want to sit on top of them? Yes, that's what people want, but you sludge around. You ask, like, do you want to try a product? No. Go away. You gotta get jazzed. You have to get jazzed about something. Let me tell you, Emily's different online. She's showing up in those pictures and she is talking about her products and about how it's changed her life. Nina goes live as much as Jess. I mean, I talked to somebody, she's Hispanic and she's concerned about her broken English and her upline. Said, it doesn't matter. Just go online, go live, and just start. So at first she just started showing the coffee mug and the frother. And then she moved up a little bit. And they said, no, you need to go up a little further. And so she just showed her face and went right back down. And then over time, she started talking. And she started getting better. And she was at Ruby for 2 years. And once she did that, she's triple diamond. Yes, because people related to her. They felt like, wow, if she can do it, I can do it. Just like me shaking in the living room. It didn't matter, and I threw up before they came. And I in the beginning, I talked too much. Just like Nina, word vomited on people. I told people what I wanted. This is what I want. This is what I'm going after. This is what I'm going to do. Well, their eyes would roll up in their socket, and they would think, oh, she's so egotistical. And then I learned, oh, shut up. What do they want? Right. What are they looking? I quit talking about myself, and I got so good at asking questions that I never had to open up my presentation. They're like, I'm in, because nobody ever listened to them. Nobody ever asked, do you have a dream? Do you have a wish? Do you have a desire? And I'm going to leave you with this, because this is the most important thing that I see after 25 years being in this industry and being a part of this global company that is going well beyond the billions, well beyond. See, I started in Virginia, and I asked some people, and then I asked some more, and then I went into North Carolina. And we started building in North Carolina, and then we started building in Tennessee. And just one person at a time. Just one at a time, and then another one. Our first ambassador, I went down to Tennessee. Rusty said, you gotta go meet Mel down in Tennessee. I said, all right, I'll get the car and drive down there. And 7 hours later, I show up and she's in this pink room with boas everywhere. She was just in that pink company. And I said, Mel, we got to change the colors if we're going to use this room. Mel went crazy. First time she ever made money. And she built all the way to Ambassador Diamond. I'm like, we got one. After years, it took us 5 years to promote our first diamond. 5 years, and if you're not yet there, you're okay. Because guess what now? We're going into Mexico. So, are you any different than me? Can you talk to your neighbors and your friends? Could you start right now and just do that? And then maybe somebody will come alive in the bordering states. And then from those states, they'll know somebody in another country. And you're going to build it much faster because we're social now. So could you build a business that has this much volume that the company currently has? Absolutely. Because there is no one telling you can't or don't do that. Or we don't do that. We're saying go. And then this is what's going to happen one day. You're going to grow up. You're going to have children. And maybe your daughter, like my daughter, will be a part of It Works. And because she was in college and she built, and she can't quit because she's my daughter, right? I instilled that within her. She saw that growing up. She saw her mother didn't get a diamond for 5 years. She saw her mother get no more no's than yeses. She went to rap parties and saw her mother get laughed at. She saw her mother being made fun of. She saw her mother cry. She saw her mother disappointed. She saw her mother wanting to quit, but she didn't. She saw her father not interested in what her mother was doing because he felt like his wife was working all the time. She saw them work through it. And now she's a mom. And she's raising 2 beautiful boys, home and with her husband by her side. So see, it just wasn't for me. It was for her. And now my grandsons. So what is she instilling in them? You don't quit. You keep going. You're going to get a lot of no's. Honey, that's reality. That is freaking life. You've already experienced all of that. Why are you so scared? You get it every day. Boss, can I have a raise? No? Okay. You want to go out on a date? Mm-mm. Not with you. You'll be sorry. You want to leave? Bye-bye. Why is this any different? It's not. You've already been through the hard part of life. You're sitting in this room. If you're 10, you've been through the hard part of life already. The rejection, the disappointment. It's time to stand up and take control of your life. No one is going to do it for you. No one. Not one person. I have never had somebody come in and say, I will take care of your life for you. Not one person has ever said that to me. It's already happening to you. Why don't you choose to get the no's? Why don't you choose to wake up and say, I'm going to get some no's today because I'm also going to get some yeses. And I don't care what you say because this is where I'm going. And I hope your first check is $15.78 and I hope your last one is over $1 million. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how young you are. We've already proven that. I don't care how many deals you've been in. I don't care how many deals you've been out. I don't care if you're a high school dropout or a college dropout. I don't care if you graduated. I don't care what you've done. See, that's it. I don't take that on you. I don't ask you those questions when you click join. Let's go. That's my motto. Let's go. Let's start. Let's start right now. We're going to come together here in Philadelphia, and the next time I come, there better be thousands in this room. Yes. And that's all going to come from you. You've got a global opportunity here. Quit sitting on your tushes expecting it to happen. You've got to get bold and crazy. You've got to show up. You've got to be consistent and persistent. No one is going to do it for you. I'm not going to do it for you. Forget it. But I will be by your side and I will be your biggest cheerleader. And I will say the same thing over and over. Start. Just start. Just start. Just start again. Start over. My team quit. Start. That's it. Just start. My volume drops. Start. Start. Isn't that beautiful? The sun comes up every single day. It has never disappointed me. Never. disappointed me. Never disappoint yourself. Now we're going to take a quick break. We're going to shake off this energy. We're going to have more fun and dance. I brought my dancing shoes. We're going to try it. And we're going to turn this meeting back over to Miss Nina.